All right, so I'm about to say some unpleasant things. It's kind of a rant, but it's really about our culture and it's really to help people get better. But we got to stop this notion of where are the solutions and then looking to human beings for solutions. But Rock, you're a human being, so should we be looking to you? I'm gonna get to that. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to say some unpleasant things. So if you're easily offended or you think I have no place to say what I want to say because of, I guess, proper decency or whatever you think is right or wrong, just keep scrolling. All right, so Jason Whitlock was just basically he received a letter from one of his fans saying that, oh, you talk about the black community and all the problems with it, but you don't talk about solutions, and you denigrate LeBron James and these guys are building schools, and you talk about single fathers when you're not talking about solutions, and you don't give a balanced view. Jason Whitlock, and not just Jason Whitlock, but Larry Elder, all of these people, Delano Squires, Royce White, these people are talking about the problems because the first step to change is admitting that there is a problem. This is a problem with the black community because a lot of people who call themselves Christians don't know what Christ taught, right? So in the Bible, it talks about how sex is for marriage, right? So all the hookup culture is dumb. Anyone having sex outside of marriage, you're sinning, you're indulging in a sinful lifestyle, and you've been brainwashed to think that that's cool and hip and acceptable because the world says it is, right? So you have to pick a choice. You have to choose. Do you go with the world or do you go with what the Bible says? And another thing, the Bible is full of reasons and examples where human beings have leaned upon their own understanding. King Saul was a classic example of that. Time and time again, he was faced with decisions and choices where, okay, well, I can do what I want to do, or I can put my faith in God. And he did what he wanted to do, and he just blundered. He just made inept decisions as a leader of Israel. So why are people so quick to go to human beings instead of the Bible? I think it's because everyone's wicked. Not everyone. Most people, today's culture is wicked, and it's tough. I get it. You living in Satan's dominated society, you want to fit in, you want to get ahead in life. You see everyone succeeding and having fun, you want to have a piece of that. But a lot of that goes against Bible principles. So then you have a choice again. And instead of putting your faith in God, instead of doing what God asks you to do, instead of following the Bible principles, you give into the world. So then you make all these stupid decisions as a community and collectively. And you see the stats, murder rate going up, children outside of wedlock going up over and over again. Jason Whitlock and his crew shining a light on the problem is the first step to change. Without you recognizing, acknowledging that there is a problem, you're going to keep making the same mistakes over and over again, which keeps getting passed down to the different generation, the next generation, and perpetuated. Like we're seeing in single parent households where a lot of women and men are born and raised in a single mother household, and they just perpetuate the stereotypes, passing it down. That's why you have that video of the little kids in diapers attacking the police, talking about some pigs. They didn't just jump out of the womb talking about their hatred for cops. That was passed down to them by their parents. Problem. We got to call that out because a lot of people, again, don't know it's a problem. Well, Rock, what do you mean? Well, I had a comment a couple of months ago where a woman got mad because a 63-year-old man married an 18-year-old. And she said, that's morally wrong. I'm like, well, based on what? Well, can't we just agree on that? Well, the problem with that is that there's no standard, right? Once upon a time, we had a standard, which was the Bible, and the Bible laid out laws, and there's nothing wrong with a 63-year-old marrying an 18-year-old. But in my response to this woman, I basically told her that, there's a lot of things that's wrong, and I think morally wrong when it comes to the hookup culture and, children born outside wedlock, abortion, all that. And she said, none of that's wrong, though. I'm like, that's the disconnect, especially in the black community. We have a sect of people who say that all of this wicked stuff is right or is fine or acceptable, and I'm judgmental. Also, let's talk about this stupid, because I heard about the notion of, oh, well, you got to present a balanced view. If you talk bad about the black culture, how come you're not talking good about it? And you got to talk about equality. Equality, this notion of you got to present a balanced view because it's bullshit. It is bullshit. It is hypocritical. How do you know it's hypocritical? Well, if it's someone that's saying something you don't like about something that you do like, you're going to get mad at them for not presenting both the good with their bad, right? So if I'm talking about the black community, the hip hop culture, and oh, well, it's also did good stuff. I'm like, yeah, it has. I'm not saying it hasn't. I'm just saying that here's the bad stuff with it. Well, how come you're not pointing it out? Well, I have to use your own tactic. Whataboutism, all right? So Black Lives Matter, the whole crowd, right? For years, basically, they just talk shit about the police, and every time someone says Blue Lives Matter or All Lives Matter, they go up in arms. But that's presenting a balanced view. Black Lives Matter does, on its surface, in that phrase, matter. Black lives do matter, but so do every other life. So why do people get mad when you say all lives matter? Maybe it's because they don't give two shits about some balanced view. They just want their view and that's it. Oh, well, Black Lives Matter. We got to talk and call out the police and, I guess, systematic racism and all the problems of the police department and how they target and profile blacks. What about all the times they help out blacks? What about all the times they go into black communities when there are no black people, police in those communities, and they provide safety and security? Not all cops are bad. We all know this. We know this. This is stupid to ignore it and to deny it. Right? But you don't see Black Lives Matter presenting a balanced view. And I'm not saying they have to. That's another thing. I'm not hypocritical, right? I'm not saying that they have to. But the people who get mad at black people, call us Uncle Toms, call us coons, because we're not talking about the good things of the black community. We're calling out the problems because we want them to get better, right? There's no point in calling out the good things because the good things are already good. Just like Jesus Christ. When Jesus Christ came, he said, I'm not coming here for the righteous, I'm coming for the wicked. Does a physician go to the good and healthy people? No, he goes to those who are sick. So he's trying to help those people. People today are too into their feelings. And I'm saying feelings because I'm passionate too. I have feelings too. But there's a sense of pride that they completely overlook. They're completely glossing over. Is black pride, is pride in whatever social movement you're part of, is pride in the Democratic Party. Barack, are you right? Are you Republican? I vote Christian. I don't care whether they're Democrat or Republican. If you have a platform and you're talking about Christian values in your platform, I'm going to vote your way over the other person. This notion of the balance view when it comes to, oh, we got to present both sides, it's two sides, it's hypocritical. It really is. We all know it's about you and your feelings. You could care less about the problems. It's about you protecting what you think and what you love. Like a couple of months or last month, I got in trouble because I made a video. It wasn't even about Jehovah's Witnesses, but I talked about a little bit about Jehovah's Witnesses because I have to. It's part of my life. I lived with these people for like 10 years, So, and I even mentioned good parts about Jehovah's Witnesses, but someone watched it and they said, "Oh, well, you didn't give a balanced view. You got to." I'm like, it wasn't about Jehovah's Witnesses. It was about me, But to say that, oh, you have to give a balanced view, no, the I don't. Where is that written in the Bible anywhere? No, it's just me. If I choose to, that's great, but I'm not obligated to. The people telling me I had to, they did it because they were in their feelings, right? And it's bullshit because I went to a family reunion a couple of months ago where I heard a lot of people talk good things about my grandfather. My grandfather was not pleasant to me. I did not have great experiences with my grandfather, but I sat there and I listened. And I'm like, do those people have to give a balanced view? Because he wasn't all roses. He wasn't King David himself. But no, I just took it. They didn't have to. My hope with this world, when people say, oh, well, what about solutions? Are you coming up with solutions? The solutions are all in the Bible. They've always been in the Bible. The only reason why people don't want to read the Bible is because they're going to read some stuff about themselves that they don't want to give up. Because then if you read it and says, oh, God disapproves of what I'm doing, well, damn, now I have a choice. Now I can't claim ignorance. Now I can't say, oh, I didn't know. You do know, and you simply rejected Christ's words. And we all know what's going to happen to those who reject Christ's words, those who reject the Bible. They're going to be destroyed. So to insulate yourself and play stupid and dumb, you just reject the Bible. You just turn your back to it. You don't want to listen to that. You turn to humans. You turn to people like Jason Whitlock who are talking. They're doing their best. They're trying to direct you. They're trying to guide you to the answers. It can only lead you to the water. It's up to you to drink. You have free will. And all the people who says, oh, well, Rock, I wish you wouldn't shove my belief down people's throats. Every time I turn on the news, every time I turn on any media, it's being, ladies and gentlemen, let's not pretend that you're not being constantly inundated with the message, about how we should be living, what's cool, what's right and wrong, what's hip, what's popular. Every day. This happens. It's being shoved down your throat, whether you want it to or not. Every time you open your eyes, every time you hear anything, your music. Ladies and gentlemen, your music. Every time your kids put on their headphones, they're getting a message by some rapper from New York or Los Angeles or Miami or Atlanta, and they're feeding your kid, your teenager, a message that you may not like, but you got no control because you're letting them listen to it. So it's like, what are our songs today? What are they saying? What are they teaching our young people? Sex, sex, sex. Look at my WAP. Money, drugs, killing. Dude, I was never a big fan of Biggie. I didn't like his style. I'm not saying that he's not a good rapper. I just didn't like his sound, But I remember I was in the boxing gym a couple of years ago, and I heard him rapping. It was a song that came on the radio in the gym, And I'm like, dude, this guy is lyrically good. And then when you start to listen to the lyrics, I hate to say it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm pretty sure he made good songs, but one of his songs called Give Me the Loot is all about robbing and killing people. And people listen to that as kids. Oh, Rock, well, they're not responsible for what kids listen to. When you have 70 to 80% of children in the black community being born outside of wedlock, you have single mothers who are either on child support or they're making 2 to 3 jobs to make ends meet. Who's looking after those kids? I hate to say it, but I really, when talked about in my last video about how I put on headphones to escape this world, it's because I don't like it. When I see shit like this, I just don't like it. And human beings, they're so good about shaming those who are trying to speak the truth, those who are trying to lead you to the water. It's like slap the hands out of, the reins out of your hands. It's like, you're bad, all right? All those other guys over here, the LeBron James, the 50 Cents, the Nick Cannons of the world, NBA YoungBoy, all these guys, they're good. Drake, all of those guys, they're good. But everyone who's trying to do what's good in God's eyes, they're wicked. And that's Satan's dominated system. That's what we're talking about. I am sorry that I cursed. I might bleep out the words in this video because I know it's like a lot of Christians will say, well, Rock, you have a good message here, but you're diluting it with curse words. It's just so silly, It's like, how can you look at this world and not detest it utterly? Yeah, there are good people. Yeah, I do enjoy some things about this world. But Jesus Christ tells us to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. And I think that's the biggest crutch because I can't not care if I love my fellow neighbor. When you see what's going on in the news today, when you see mothers crying from losing their sons and their daughters to police and gun violence and the black on black violence, the whole Black Lives Matter, it's like I've never been on board with that because ever since I was a kid, I always knew. Like, it's just common sense. The greatest threat to a black man's life is another black man. We know this. Like if I had to pick and choose between, walking down a street where I see a bunch of cops and walking down a street where I see a bunch of dudes who look like Tupac, I'm going down the cops' way. Every fucking guy knows this. But we're supposed to pretend for the sake of unity and black pride. And that's what it is, black pride. This is this stupid racism supremacy that we have, and we're so dumb and blind that we're oblivious to it. That's why the studies came out and they said, black people are the most racist people on this planet. And because I'm black, I'm part of it. I try my best to live by example and, prove the stereotypes wrong. But it's like, even when I post these videos, like they're not getting hundreds and thousands of views. They're not getting millions. They're not going viral. No one wants to hear this message. Instead, like if sex sells. I'm not sexy. I'm not going to take off my shirt and, do a strip dance to get this message out there. Even if I could, it would look disgusting. So yeah, I mean, when people get mad at people like Jason Whitlock and they say, oh, well, what's he doing to help? All he's doing is talking about his problem. Yeah, that's the first step to change. Acknowledging that it is a problem. A lot of people don't know it is a problem. That's a problem. All right, man. I just had to get that off my chest because it's so demoralizing. It really is. And not only that, but it's demoralized. Like King Solomon in the book of Ecclesiastes, he talks about the frustration of having so much knowledge. Like if I didn't know what I know, I probably wouldn't be as frustrated as I am. But because I have read the Bible twice, the entire book twice, and I'm in the middle of my third reading, it's like I have all the answers. I hate to say that. Like faith in God is the simplest answer, but I have even greater details of answers and solutions. I'm trying my best to write essays and present, like I was writing essays. So I'm doing videos now, trying to get the message out there. But I know, like, I don't have no, grand illusion about becoming famous off of my videos. I get that. I wish, like, TD Jakes finally came out and talked about something that I mentioned when it comes to black community, about when it comes to the whole strong and independent. He says,
because we are raising up women to be men.
Uh-oh.
And you are not applauded for your femininity. You are applauded in the contemporary society by how tough, rough, nasty, mean, aggressive, hateful, possessive you are, and you're climbing the corporate ladder, but we are losing our families. I know you can buy your own car. I know you can buy your own house. But until you create a need that I can pour into, I have no place in your life. So stop coming home bragging to me about how much you don't need me and wonder why I shy away.
Who he sound like?
I mentioned it in one of my essays years ago, that this is a problem. Men like me, strong, good men, Christian men, we're taught that we're supposed to lead. We're supposed to be the head of our household. That's in 1 Peter chapter 3, like different books of the Bible, but in today's culture and black culture, we're taught, oh, well, black men, women don't need you. We want you. That's not good enough. We're supposed to lead. And if you don't want a leader, or if you're one of those backwards person where you say, oh, we're the good men I'm looking for the lead, you have to follow. The friction between black men and black women, as I mentioned in a couple of comments recently, is black men are still black men. Remove the black part. Men are still men. Women have been convinced to get into the man's lane to do what men and women, we are equal in value, but we're different by nature, right? So when you move into a man's lane to try to do what he, strong and independent, masculine qualities, I walk outside my condo all the time. And you see all these ladies, and they're beautiful. I know they have good personalities, but they present this strong front it's like they're me mugging. I'm like, where is the femininity here? And I get it. Well, rock. In today's society and in culture, they have to be strong. They have to protect themselves. I get it. But not every guy that you see is a criminal, right? Every person I meet, black or white, I look at you in the eye, I say hello. I don't know what you could be. You could have your chest tatted up with Aryan symbols. I don't know that. I'm gonna treat you like a good, decent human being until I get evidence otherwise. But no, today's culture. That's why I hate this world. I really hate it. I don't like it. Without God giving me the strength to continue on, without a purpose to continue on, I won't ever commit suicide. But like if I had a brain tumor or something. Oh, Rock, well, there's procedures to help you, so you could continue. I'm like, no, I'm good. No, I know there's a better world beyond. I have complete faith that there's a better world beyond this one. I have faith in God and his judgment. I have faith in Christ that when he rules, it will be a better world. All I can do, Rock, you're always talking about problems, but you're not coming up with solutions. I have multiple Bibles. If you want one, I can get you one. There's a website called BibleGateway.com, and it has almost every translation of the Bible, and it's free. It's online. Just start reading. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created heavens and earth. Just keep reading. It talks about history. It tells us about how the earth was formed. You learn about, you talk about black pride. Oh, we got to learn about where you came from. Here's really where you came from. Adam and Eve, the beginning. Learn about that. It teaches you about you. God knows you more than any psychiatrist, any biologist, any anthropologist. God knows more about you than any other human being alive. So instead of looking at the human beings, oh, well, where's your solutions at? It's right there in the Bible. You just got to take courage, open your heart, and humble yourself to actually take it in. I had to do the same. I'm not saying I'm perfect. All right, when I was 27 and 28, that's when I first picked the Bible. It was difficult. God knows, my parents know, my brothers know. I had a lot of scars that I was dealing with from religion when I was growing up. I had to get over that because, I hate to say it, but by the grace of God, he really just drew me in. There were so many things happening at that time. And I said, you know what, let me just give it a shot. And I did. It took 2 years to read the Bible in earnest. I believe in it. And I say in earnest because there are atheists and agnostics who read the Bible and they read it intellectually, not really reading it on a matter of faith. They just read it almost to understand the other point of the argument so they can debate it better. At least they understand. There's a lot of Christians who haven't read the Bible. And that's a sad thing. I think that's worse than atheists and agnostics because when you have Christians who haven't read the Bible, but they're talking about, well, only Christ can judge me, and he's without sin cast the first stone. If they only cherry pick these stupid sayings, it's not stupid, but the way they're using it is stupid to manipulate and twist the argument and continue doing wickedness. You know, that's the problem. All right, man. Rock, well, you just talked about a whole bunch of problems. The solution is the Bible. I've written plenty of essays. I love to talk. Anyone who wants further understanding, I'm passionate about this. I'm not a curse. I don't curse, but there's a lot of, when I say nonsense, that's my substitution word for BS in this world. You know, my dad's, oh, Rock, you know, you can curse around me. I try not to because I want to respect. But when I use curse words, I use it as words of emphasis. You know, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, whatever. I know that's very distracting for a lot of people, and I have heard Christians say that. Oh, Rock, you use, you know, curse words, distraction, the message. All right, man, I just had to get that off my chest because this is I'm gonna keep rehashing. Again, stageinthesky.com. That's my website. That's where you can find all of my stuff. Stageinthesky.com. I'll have it in a lower third down here. Feel free to reach out. Feel free to debate. Feel free to point out where I'm wrong. And everyone can tell, right? Like if you're writing a comment or you're saying stuff just to attack, and it's not really out of place of love, I'm not gonna read those. I'm just gonna ignore you. I'll leave it up so other people can see what I have to deal with. You know, so you're giving me food for my argument, but I will address those who do have legitimate concerns, or they are searching for the truth, or they do need some guidance of when to start. I would love to help those people out because I used to be you. I used to be lost, like believing the world. I used to be looking to human beings for solutions, right? Then I put my trust and faith in God. Life is going good. The only problem that I have with this world, the only problem I have in my life is that I live in this world. I have to deal with this wicked world. I have to deal with the same temptations as everyone else. And if I had let go of my convictions, right? If I compromise on the faith, if I compromise on Bible stand, my cousin, if she's watching this, I had to put this in, bring her in. But she literally said, "Oh, Rock, sometimes I feel life would be easier if I just let go of my standards." Same here. If I just let go of what the Bible taught, I'm pretty sure I would be married by now. I'm pretty sure I have kids, probably outside of Whitlock, but at least I have kids, and that's what I want. I want a family, you know. But I won't say by any means necessary because I believe in a right way and a wrong way to do it. And the right way is through what God's telling me. You get married first. That's the proper order. Before you have sex, you get married. That's the proper order. You know, if you want to reject all that, because it is easier to just forgo all that and just have sex and shack up and live with your partner or your girlfriend for the longest time. That's what the world's doing. That's what they're saying. And honestly, because I feel bad because there are a lot of people I think who finally hear what I'm saying because I'm posting these videos and they're like, wow, I didn't know you think that way. And they're kind of detaching themselves from me. That's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. When you shed the old skin and, you know, you put on I hate to say it because people think, oh, you're self-righteous. When you really embrace Christ's teachings, you're going to shed off not just the old skin, but the old friends that surrounded you. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough because, obviously, like I say, you love people. A lot of people you care about, and some of those people claim to be Christians. Again, they don't know the entire Bible. They know bits and pieces of it. And I think that's one of the toughest things, because my biggest thing in my life has always been loneliness. So the few friends that I do have, you know, I want to hold on to them as much as possible. But even them, you know, like I imagine them watching my videos. What? He really thinks this way? Yeah, because that's what the Bible teaches. Rock, you shouldn't be so judgmental. I'm not a hypocrite. I am judgmental. By judgmental, I'm talking about I look at what you're doing, that's right and that's wrong, you know? Like, it's involuntary muscle. I'm not sitting here dwelling on it as if it occupies my whole day, but it's involuntary muscle. When you become Christ-like, you know, like you discern what's right or wrong. That's the whole point of, one of the whole points of reading the scriptures is learning what's good and bad in God's eyes. That makes you judgmental in today's society. People don't like that because they want to keep doing bad stuff. They want to keep doing whatever they want and feeling good about it, right? So when they get around you, knowing that you're not going to say, "Oh, well, congratulations," and join their parades, and, you know, and pat them in the back when you know they're doing what's wrong, they're going to hate you for it. They're going to say, "Oh, he's judgmental and he's bad, and, you know, he's not a good person to have around." Ironically, benefiting from actual Christian standards. I mean, the reason why the United States has prospered over the past 200 years and come a long way is because we are a Christian nation. They don't want to admit that, but we are. The founding fathers founded this nation on Christian standards. We moved away from it, which is why we're declining. We're going to go the way of Rome, where we implode. All right. Thank you for watching. StageInTheSky.com. And, again, give me your thoughts. Let me know that I'm not alone. If I am alone, I won't delete your comment. I won't read it if I detect that it's, a bunch of spite and vitriol and venom. But Rock, your message, oh yeah, and I told you could keep scrolling. You didn't have to watch it. All right.